Well, we are 4 hours away from another Monday Night Raw. 4 hours away from another superstar shakeup that I hope WWE has well thought out and planned. Probably not. I'm wishing upon a shooting star on that one. But I did hear a few things coming out of the rumor mill as of this morning, so we'll probably talk about the shakeup for a little bit in today's extra. But what I want to talk about primarily, quickly, because this isn't really news to me, but everybody is making it news because everybody just is a fucking drama whore. It's like when drama is in and around the community, you guys are like fucking blood-sucking leeches. And this is no different. I'm on Twitch last night, and I'm streaming Fortnite, and every other line in the chat, JD, what do you think about John Cena and Nikki Bella breaking up? I don't care. Seriously, who the fuck cares? Is it going to impact your life in such a devastating way? This is what you want my opinion on. Of all the things that are happening in and around the WWE following WrestleMania 34, going into the greatest Roman Rumble, this is what you want news on. Nikki Bella and John Cena ending their proposal, their engagement, their relationship after 4 years. Are you fucking kidding me? You want to know my thoughts on it? This is my thoughts on it before I get to the reason why the relationship ended. I am more upset about the fact that Kevin Dunn, of all people, pushed for Cena to propose to Nikki Bella at WrestleMania 33. He wanted that match with that situation following that mixed tag team match. Now, I'm upset because, A, it looks like everything was completely staged. B, they altered, and again, sabotaged WrestleMania for something that what looks to be wasn't real. It might have been real, but we don't know what intentions John Cena really had. We don't know, nor do I care. Do you want to know why I'm more upset about this relationship ending and that situation taking place and then hearing the news of what we heard yesterday? The original plans for WrestleMania 33 were to see The Miz versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental Championship as a way for Daniel Bryan to get back at The Miz by enlisting Nakamura and calling him up from NXT and having him debut at WrestleMania to win the Intercontinental Championship from The Miz. John Cena was supposed to go one-on-one with The Undertaker last year, and it didn't happen. After John Cena won the WWE Championship from AJ Styles and lost it to Bray Wyatt, the plan was for John Cena to go one-on-one with The Undertaker and get that match at WrestleMania. Instead, we got a mixed tag team match with John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Maurice and The Miz, which the build to that match was absolutely fucking entertaining to watch. The match itself was fucking god-awful. And then we got Roman Reigns versus a broken down, decrepit, crippled Undertaker. And if WrestleMania's original plans came to be, who knows what would have been for WrestleMania with the original plans, and who knows how WrestleMania and the rest of the card would have shaped up. Maybe Roman would have been given another opponent in which he could have had an actual good match with. You know? Maybe we would have got an entertaining match with Nakamura and The Miz with the whole Daniel Bryan situation. You know, maybe Undertaker and John Cena would have given us a better match than Roman and The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33. A lot of things could have altered and made WrestleMania a decent show last year. It really wasn't. On top of everything that we've seen, WrestleMania 33 in Orlando was fucking garbage. It was terrible. There was only 2 moments on that show that meant anything. The Hardys returning And then The Undertaker, with his semi-retirement, walking away, descending into the depths of hell after he lost to Roman Reigns. But that's the reason why I'm upset. If this wasn't meant to last, and then we were forced to watch that fucking bullshit last year, imagine what WrestleMania would have looked like if that didn't need to be a top priority at WrestleMania. Now, everybody's crying and everybody's speculating. There's already fucking memes online that Dolph Ziggler's gonna cash in his money in the bank and take Nikki Bella away, you know? Or Nikki Bella cheated, or John Cena cheated. We don't know, nor do I care. That's their private business. Who cares? If it's not pertinent to WWE television, if it's not important to storylines right now, why are we involving ourselves in other people's business and drama? I don't care. If it doesn't impact what we see on television, I don't care who's sleeping with who, who's dating who, who's fucking who. I don't care. It's none of my business, it's none of your business, it's none of anybody's business. It's their business. So leave it at that. Now, apparently, as of this hour, this is the most up-to-date news that there is on this situation. Nikki Bella is said to be heartbroken after her split with John Cena, according to People.com. Some people even speculated that this was all a work. I think this is the real deal. I think this is over. I don't know if their engagement or their relationship was even a real thing. It might have been real, but, the proposal and all that, it's very tough to sway away from the idea that it was just merely Total Divas garbage and a segment for Total Divas or Total Bellas or whatever the fuck they're doing nowadays. The story, according to a source, notes that Cena started to get cold feet as they got closer to the wedding date. Now, according to a close source, she never gave Cena, Nikki Bella, she never gave Cena an ultimatum. He talked a really good game about having changed and having his priorities straight and knowing what's important, and that it was her. She was the most important thing for him. But as the day got closer, it was like he just went back to who he's always been, which is someone who puts himself first, always. Their source added, but in this case, he never should have proposed, let alone in front of millions of people. Now she is heartbroken. Now, as previously reported, Cena had been giving hints that things were not going too well in the relationship. He told the Today Show in February that they were working on things. Apparently, he was never on board with having kids. The People.com source said that Bella is devastated, and this was supposed to be the happiest time of her life. He ruined it all and blew everything up. The wedding date was actually set for May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, in Mexico. And it was reportedly not going to be an over-the-top, glitzy Hollywood marriage. People.com source said John Cena just revealed himself as the ultimate heel. End quote. Now, I don't really know what to make of all this, and nor do I care. But, John Cena, it's been reported that he puts his career before anything else. Anything else. And the fact that John Cena is, doing the WWE thing on a semi-part-time basis, and John Cena is literally everywhere doing promo work on the Today Show, and, he's in movies now. He's got a new movie coming out. And he's doing commercials now. I'm starting to see John Cena more and more on commercials. He's doing a lot of different things. Reality TV. He's got his hand in literally every proverbial cookie jar that is presented to him. And he wants to get his name out there. He's building the Cena empire for life after WWE. And someone like Nikki Bella is going to want to follow in her sister's footsteps. Nikki probably sees Brie having kids with Daniel Bryan and, how they're building a family. Obviously, she's going to want that with John Cena. And Bryan was readily available for that because his future was completely uncertain. Now Bryan's going to be back full-time with the WWE. Brie wants to make a comeback to the WWE, so they're in sync with what they're doing. Cena never had the mentality of having kids, and he's putting his career first before his marriage, before his relationship with Nikki Bella. And that's not going to change. Cena is going 200 miles an hour, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. He has no room for Nikki Bella in his life. His career is going to be first, foremost, and a priority. And that sucks. That sucks. That's the reason why the relationship ended. I didn't hear anything else. We might hear more as the weeks go on. If there was, something else going on behind the scenes that has not been reported yet. But the reasoning right now is that John Cena is one of those guys that wants to put himself first before anybody else. He's not interested in kids right now. He's not going to be sitting at home, and he's not going to be, Mr. Daddy Daycare. He wants to be out there, build the Cena empire, continue to make money. He doesn't want to slow down. He wants to follow or desperately try to follow The Rock's footsteps. And Nikki Bella, she ain't wrestling that much anymore. She is pretty much semi-retired with the injuries that she has accumulated over the years. She wants kids. She wants marriage. She wants to be home. She wants to follow in the footsteps of her sister. And John Cena doesn't want to give her that. It's a completely fucked up situation. That is the reason why their relationship ended after 6 years. That's the reason why the marriage is off. I didn't even think the marriage was coming up. I thought the marriage was going to be, sometime next year. I had no idea that the marriage was going to take place in about a month, less than a month. So that's my thoughts on it. The one thing that bothers me most about this is that what we seen at WrestleMania 33, no matter how many people thought that was a moment or a WrestleMania moment, completely wiped away. And again, goes to show you that you shouldn't be doing that type of shit at WrestleMania. I don't give a fuck if it's a moment. It was total divas, total Bella's reality TV garbage, and it completely altered what we could have seen or what we should have seen at WrestleMania. Who knows what WrestleMania 33 would have been without this reality TV scripted garbage. That's my thoughts on Nikki Bella and John Cena. I will not be talking about this again. This has no fucking importance to anything that's happening going into the WWE TV week with the Shakeup or NXT. Nothing. It's the last time I'll be talking about this. You want my opinion on it? There you go. That's my opinion on John Cena and Nikki Bella and the relationship ending. Other rumors for WWE. WWE is in the midst of scouting new talent. WWE announced that a second annual Mae Young Classic is on the way. This is according to the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter and what we've seen with the new WWE Network advertisement during WrestleMania weekend. Dave Meltzer says that the WWE was scouting women at Shimmer on April 7th during WrestleMania weekend. This is for the Mae Young Classic tournament and for future signings. According to Meltzer, Tessa Blanchard, who is right now dating Ricochet, who just made his NXT debut that weekend in that great ladder match for the North American Championship. Tessa Blanchard was said to be one of the standouts in the scouting for WWE that weekend. Now, there are rumors going around that Tessa Blanchard, the reason why she hasn't signed a deal with the WWE or why the WWE hasn't picked her up yet is because of her backstage attitude. And I believe Tessa Blanchard has made note of that, and she's addressed that in promos and interviews, and she's working on that. If she has any hope of getting into the WWE, she needs to dead that really, really quick. But even that, that has worked around fairly easily, and I would not let that stop me from signing someone like Tessa Blanchard. She had a great showing at the Mae Young Classic against Kairi Sane in the final first-round match of that tournament, which Kairi Sane ended up going on to win the Mae Young Classic. If Tessa Blanchard is picked up and placed in the Mae Young Classic tournament again this year, she is definitely going to be one of the odds-on favorites to win the entire thing. I hope we see the return of Toni Storm. I hope we see the return of Piper Niven. Viper, she was fantastic in that tournament. A lot of bullshit online and a lot of names and a lot of criticizing for her look and her appearance and her weight. Fuck all that. Piper Niven and whatever that she's going by, Viper, Piper Niven, whatever. She was fantastic in that tournament. She was one of the standouts in that entire tournament. So I don't know who the fuck these people are talking about, oh, she can't move, she's not a great representation for what women's wrestling should be. Fuck you and shove it where the sun don't shine, you fucking pricks. Okay? She was great, and I don't want to hear anybody else in regards to what she looks like, because she, no matter what she looks like, outperformed most of the field in the Mae Young Classic. But I'd love to see both of them return. I'd love to see Bianca Belair get another shot in that, mix in current NXT talent. I'd love to see Santana Garrett back. She was another standout in the Mae Young Classic. Santana Garrett's actually coming into House of Glory on May 18th. She's going to be going one-on-one with the face of the female division in House of Glory, Sonya Strong. I'd love to see even Sonya Strong. I'd love to see someone like that who's on the independent scene, who's working her ass off, get into the Mae Young Classic as a great representation of hardworking females trying to make a name for themselves, man. I think that would be fucking unbelievable. But Santana Garrett as well, I'd love to see her again. I'd love to see WWE pick her up, period. I think she's got a great look, and I don't know why WWE has not offered her a contract, or they might have, and she just hasn't, picked up the contract yet, or isn't ready to come into the WWE just yet, but I'd love to see her back. And, I'm looking forward to the Mae Young Classic again, man. Obviously, things need to change as far as presentation. I thought the presentation could have been a lot better. Even though it was fine, I thought that WWE can always improve the presentation. The commentary team needs improvement this year. You gotta get Morrow. I don't want Jim Ross, who sounds like a fucking corpse. Most of the time, he didn't know anything. He didn't know none of the women's names. He didn't know their background. He sounded very forced. Jim Ross sounds great when he knows who's in the ring. When I watched Jim Ross in the Mae Young Classic last year, and I watched Jim Ross doing a New Japan show, he sounds dead to the fucking world. So I don't want Jim Ross doing it again this year. I certainly don't want Lita doing it again this year. I need someone with a voice. Get Morrow and get a female talent in there who's going to be, a great representation to get the talent over. Lita didn't know what the fuck she was doing. Beth Phoenix is coming along quite nice. I think she would be a great representation along Mauro Ranallo to get the Mae Young Classic to that next level. That's just my honest opinion. And yes, I did see the Mauro Ranallo clip that WWE posted on their YouTube page. There's a reason why I model him after what I do for commentary. I love his enthusiasm. I love his passion. And that's exactly what I want to get across when I'm doing commentary for House of Glory, man. Mauro is the greatest play-by-play commentator right now in the world of sports. Never mind fucking just professional wrestling, in sports. I love his voice, I love his passion, I love his knowledge, and I love his wit. He's quick-witted. That's why Mauro's great, man. And what he's doing with NXT right now is taking NXT. You'd be surprised what a fucking great commentator can do. NXT's great on its own, but Mauro takes NXT to just another level with his commentary. And if you don't really agree with me on that, I honestly don't give a shit. But Tessa Blanchard, stand out. They're looking at Shimmer talent, WWE. I can't wait to see what the WWE does with the Mae Young Classic going into the summer months of 2018. Jazzy Gabbert's another one. WWE wanted to sign her, but she had a very devastating injury that is going to keep her out till the end of the year. She hopes to make a final attempt to get a WWE deal back in October when she recovers from surgery. She had her original offer rescinded due to issues discovered with her neck in medical screening. So Jazzy Gabbert was very over. I really didn't find anything all that special with her in the ring, but she had a great look and a look that WWE obviously likes. So we'll see what happens with her towards the end of the year. But as far as that, she will not be making another appearance in the Mae Young Classic this year, as she will still be in rehabilitation. Kathy Kelly confirmed in a recent interview that a cooking show for WWE could be hitting the network soon. Kelly says that they filmed the pilot last month and the first guest will be Becky Lynch. It is a cooking/interview hybrid. It hasn't been 100% confirmed, but Kathy Kelly says that her fingers are crossed. They are filing a trademark, WWE, for the name Talking Snack. Why don't we just get Titus Catering on there and just call it a day, man? That would be absolutely fucking hilarious. If Titus... I'd actually watch that. I think Titus O'Neil should be the host of this cooking show. Honestly. Because all he does is fucking post on Twitter how great of a cook he is. So why don't you show me, man? Why don't you show me? But WWE looking to get more content for the WWE Network. And I am an avid viewer of the Food Network anyway because I like watching it late at night when I want to try and sleep. I love watching food-related shows like Andrew Zimmern and, his Destination Eats or Bizarre Foods. I used to love watching Adam Richman and Man vs. Food. I love watching guys like Bobby Flay, or Beat Bobby Flay, Grilling with Bobby Flay, which is my personal favorite. But I like that type of shit, man. So that type of thing would interest me for WWE Network. So those are some of the rumors there. We're going to end this quick little off-the-script extra, man. I know a lot of people want me to continue talking about the Shakeup. I went into Off the Script yesterday, part 3. If you guys missed any of Off the Script this weekend, you guys can go back in the video annotation and go watch whatever you missed. We talked about on part 3 how I don't care about the Superstar Shakeup because WWE really didn't do anything as far as, making me care what they did with the last Shakeup. Now, WWE has original plans, or they had original plans for the Superstar Shakeup, and they could possibly have been revealed in a WrestleMania advertisement. Now, the Shakeup is taking place tonight on Raw and then Tuesday on SmackDown Live. It's obvious that WWE will have had some indication, or at least created some plans for stars to move forward to switch brands. And this is because several advertisements online have already shown certain superstars are being advertised for events that are for the opposing brand. Now, the biggest one that has come from that in recent weeks is Raw's superstar, Asuka, being advertised for SmackDown Live events, a move many are expecting to happen anyway. Now, she lost against Charlotte at WrestleMania. Charlotte lost the championship to Carmella via a Money in the Bank cash-in. WWE, in all likelihood, is going to be moving Charlotte to Monday Night Raw for the rest of the year going into next year's WrestleMania because they want to get that match with Charlotte and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, or some sort of match between those two at WrestleMania. Obviously, you're not going to have Asuka, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey on the same brand. That is overkill. I think a proper trade would be Charlotte for Asuka. Asuka's going to SmackDown Live. She may end up winning the title over there. Charlotte's coming to Monday Night Raw in hopes that WWE builds a program between her and Ronda Rousey. Now, when speaking on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, a fan revealed that the WrestleMania advertisements they received in New Orleans listed several Raw superstars as SmackDown stars, and vice versa. According to the advertisements, WWE's original Shakeup and the plans that they have set forth via these advertisements featured AJ Styles, Naomi, The New Day, and Jinder Mahal as Raw superstars, while Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, and Asuka had been listed as SmackDown superstars. Now, I find it very difficult to believe WWE would move Roman Reigns to SmackDown Live. I just find that very difficult to believe. If Roman Reigns is moving to SmackDown Live, then in all honesty, Daniel Bryan is moving over to Monday Night Raw. That's just my opinion on that. I would love, me personally, I would love if Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan are on the same show. Only if WWE has plans to turn Roman heel, because I would absolutely love to see a heel Roman Reigns versus a babyface Daniel Bryan, and you bring real life interest in both of those men into the program. And you would play off the fact that Roman and the WWE machine is getting behind Roman as their man. The fans have rejected him for 4 years. The fans have always embraced Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan comes back, and easily people are already talking about Daniel Bryan being the face of the company, taking that moniker and that status away from Roman Reigns. I would love if they brought that into a real-life storyline on Monday Night Raw with Bryan being the babyface and Roman being the heel, leading to a championship match between the two, which could end up being the modern-day Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 6. Now, I may be, again, wishing upon a star on that one, and I don't think the WWE has the fucking grapefruits to do that whatsoever. That would be absolutely fantastic. Just think about the dynamic between the two and think of the crowd reactions for that program. It would be on epic levels. If Roman is moving to SmackDown, Daniel Bryan's moving to Monday Night Raw. Because I do not see them pushing Roman as a babyface and having Daniel Bryan on the same show, because you know that WWE is not going to want to take anything away from Roman and this quote-unquote babyface push. Finn Balor moving to SmackDown. I fully believe Finn Balor needs a change of scenery. I think Finn Balor, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson all should be moving to SmackDown Live. Asuka moving to SmackDown. I think that is definitely happening with the move of Charlotte moving to Monday Night Raw. Naomi from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw. I definitely see that happening. Becky. I need to see Becky in a more prominent role, not only in the women's division, but in WWE. She's one of the more entertaining females. She is highly, highly underutilized. And she's well received by almost everybody. I think everybody is in agreement that Becky needs to be pushed and she deserves a moment in the sun. She hasn't done anything since the first draft when she was SmackDown Live's first women's champion. Becky needs to move to Monday Night Raw. I think everybody that we've seen on Monday Night Raw debut from NXT stays on Monday Night Raw. Ember Moon, No Way Jose, the Authors of Pain, Bobby Lashley. They're all staying on Monday Night Raw. I do not expect any one of those individuals to move anywhere else. Now, I did hear a rumor of Drew McIntyre being in the town. I don't know where they're billing Monday Night Raw from tonight. I think it's Hartford, Connecticut. I'm not really sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm hearing news reports of Drew McIntyre being backstage and in town for WWE programming this week, Raw and SmackDown. Drew McIntyre would be perfect for SmackDown Live. If you're moving Daniel Bryan over to Monday Night Raw, only if Daniel Bryan's moving to Monday Night Raw, I'd love to see Drew McIntyre in a babyface role on SmackDown Live. If this listing is having AJ Styles, Naomi, New Day, and Jinder Mahal as Raw superstars, it might be beneficial for the Usos to stay on SmackDown Live, being that they are the number one contenders right now for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships, and get them away from the New Day. I'd like to see that happen as well. If Jinder, who is the United States Champion right now, is moving to Monday Night Raw, then I expect Seth Rollins to move over to SmackDown Live. If you're moving AJ Styles, you know, I don't know. With this, it's very tricky. You can't have Raw completely loaded. You got to even the fucking rosters out. So, if you're going to have Bryan move over to Raw and Styles move over to Raw, Roman and Rollins coming over to SmackDown Live might kind of offset that. With Balor, that might be somewhat of an even trade, I'd say. Monday Night Raw obviously is going to be the better show of the two. McMahon will not have anything else, happen in such a way where SmackDown is going to be the more stacked show over Monday Night Raw because they have that third hour. But, this could present itself to be a very interesting situation. If Mahal is listed here in the program or the advertisements, then Rollins is going to come over to SmackDown Live because you can't have two mid-card titles on one show. So obviously you're going to switch the mid-card titles here. Wherever Bryan is, Miz needs to be. Whether that is moving Bryan to Raw or moving Miz to SmackDown and keeping Bryan on SmackDown. Wherever the Miz is, Bryan needs to be. Now that Bryan is back full-time, I expect that feud to culminate. And I'd love to see something come of that and we get that wrapped up and a conclusion to that feud. I'd love to see Samoa Joe on SmackDown Live, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. I think that Joe, being that he announced himself as the number one contender pretty much, or the challenger for the winner of the Lesnar-Reigns match at Backlash, I think Joe stays on Monday Night Raw. But if Styles or Bryan moves to Monday Night Raw, look at the matches that we could potentially get there, A lot of people are mentioning Braun Strowman moving over to SmackDown Live. I would not move Braun Strowman over to SmackDown Live, even though it might be beneficial for him because he's literally done everything on Monday Night Raw. I'm hearing news of Bobby Roode possibly moving over to Monday Night Raw and taking him from the babyface role and making him a heel. I'm hearing news of Andrade Cien Almas being moved up to the main roster. I don't think I'd make that match now, or that move now. I would rather Almas stay in NXT and get another match out of Aleister Black and then get moved up, around SummerSlam. But if he gets moved up, I could see Almas going to Monday Night Raw with Zelina Vega. Sanity. I could see Sanity moving over to SmackDown Live. Because Monday Night Raw with this is going to be stacked. Sanity moving over to Monday Night Raw, I think they could, really bolster that roster there. Nikki Cross, definitely a prize piece coming out of Sanity. She can add a lot to the female division, and I'd love to see Asuka versus Nikki Cross again. And I'd like to see Killian Dane get a main event push on his own. I think Killian Dane, and I've said this in my NXT reviews, I think Killian Dane could be the next monster big man in the WWE if pushed right. He's got a great look. He is fucking great in the ring. He's athletic. He doesn't move like a man his size. I think WWE and the fans could have a lot of fun watching Killian Dane in a WWE ring. Eric Young and Alexander Wolf obviously could add a lot to the tag team divisions. I don't think moving Sanity to Monday Night Raw and having Bray Wyatt lead them right now is the best idea. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy on their own, have them win the tag team championships, give Bray a nice run as a babyface with some championship gold with Matt Hardy, have him feed off of Matt Hardy. That is the priority right now. There's always going to be time to turn Bray Wyatt back to a heel when the time presents itself. Some of you mentioned, and I like this idea, depending on where Rollins and Reigns are. I'd love to see, if Reigns and Rollins move over to SmackDown Live and we get Styles, Bryan over to Monday Night Raw, I'd love to see Ambrose follow them. But when Ambrose comes back, we don't see Dean Ambrose Lunatic Fringe. We see a new lunatic, with Dean Ambrose. We see a new form of a lunatic. Some of you mentioned, and I really like this idea, Dean Ambrose leading Sanity in a heel faction. And I'd love to see Dean Ambrose pretty much turn his back on Rollins and Reigns, lead Sanity, and maybe that could be a really great way to bring forth the Shield and get them back together to take down Sanity and feud with Sanity on the main roster. I don't know about that, but having Dean Ambrose come back just out of nowhere, you think he would align himself with Rollins and Reigns, or, align himself as a babyface with whatever brand he's coming to. I think that would be a really, intriguing, interesting idea to have Dean Ambrose lead Sanity. I'm hearing Big Cass is ready to return. I think, he would be placed on Monday Night Raw. I think, I see Vince wanting to mold him as a true big man, so I think he's going to be on Monday Night Raw. But my other logic and my other way of thinking is, wherever Braun Strowman is, I think Big Cass should be placed on the opposite brand, because I don't want to have too many big men on the same show. And I think Big Cass would kind of come into his zone away from Braun Strowman, because nobody's going to take that monster or big man status away from Braun Strowman. I think Big Cass, if WWE wants to push him, needs to be on his own, away from everybody, and be his own big man and be the big man of his own brand. That's just my logic behind that. Another thing with Mahal, if they do switch mid-card titles, then if Mahal comes over to Monday Night Raw, Randy Orton stays on SmackDown. Get them away from one another. We don't need to see another Mahal-Randy Orton feud or continue seeing Mahal-Randy Orton matches on Monday Night Raw. God forbid. Raw is already in the dumps, so we don't need to make it even worse with Mahal and Orton continuing on into 2018. Because you know what they did with The Miz and Dean Ambrose when they moved over to the same brand? They were feuding on SmackDown Live over the IC title, and WWE picked it right up with that feud on Monday Night Raw. I do not want the same thing happening with Mahal and Randy Orton. God forbid. God forbid. Some people are mentioning the Usos moving to Monday Night Raw. You would have to give, a tag team or two to SmackDown Live. If the New Day and the Usos come over to Monday Night Raw from SmackDown Live, then we get the club, and they're going to have to be built up as legitimate threats. And maybe the Revival comes over from Monday Night Raw to SmackDown Live. I think the Revival, out of all the tag teams right now, need a change of scenery. And I think they would be great in a different environment, and just hit the reset button with those guys, because they have failed miserably on Monday Night Raw, most of it not even being their fault. They were decimated due to injuries, and they never picked up the momentum after coming back from those injuries, both Dash and Dawson. But those are the majority of the shakeups or the roster moves that I would make. Sasha, definitely on SmackDown Live. Get Sasha Banks on SmackDown Live. Alexa Bliss, I would, if you're moving Becky and Naomi and Charlotte to Monday Night Raw, we're going to get Asuka, Sasha, and we might get Alexa on SmackDown Live. But I don't want Alexa to come with Mickey. I think Mickey deserves a run of her own. I don't know why we're getting this Mean Girls faction here with Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. But my other way of thinking is I don't want Alexa Bliss mixed with Sasha Banks. I want to get Sasha Banks into a primary role as a number one on her own, away from Charlotte, away from Alexa. I love to see Sasha and Asuka battle it out for the Women's Championship, for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship on the blue brand. But if we're moving Charlotte, Naomi, and Becky, we might be moving Sasha, Asuka, and Alexa over to SmackDown Live. So we really don't know yet. I'd keep Alexa on Raw and move Bayley over to SmackDown Live, to be honest with you. I'd move Bayley, Sasha, and Asuka over to SmackDown Live and move Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky over to Monday Night Raw. That's what I would do. Those are the majority of the moves that I would make. Those are the names that I'm thinking about right now. There was a rumor, we discussed it on Off the Script this past weekend, Velveteen Dream being rumored heavily to be called up to the main roster. That's not a move I would make. I would keep Patrick Clark down in NXT for another year and a half, maximum 2 years. He's only 22 years old. By the time you call him up, he'll be 24. There's so much for him to learn down there and continue to get better. And the reports are that Shawn Michaels is making Dream his pet project. Why would you take Velveteen Dream from that situation in a learning situation and a learning environment from Shawn Michaels and put him on the main roster? Do you expect Vince McMahon to treat the Velveteen Dream like the guy that he is being treated in NXT? No. It's gonna be one of those things where we mark out for 1 week and then the gimmick will be dead on Monday Night Raw. I do not have any faith in WWE to book Velveteen Dream, let alone someone with that gimmick or character. It's not gonna work. I would rather he make his debut when Vince McMahon is not there, to be honest with you. Or Vince McMahon is on his way out. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Still, I would not have the Velveteen Dream on the main roster. And if he does go to the main roster, I'd have him on SmackDown Live, where Triple H is at least more present than he is on Monday Night Raw. But that is my thoughts on the shakeup. Those were the original plans for the shakeup. Styles, even though he is the WWE champion, he could eventually lose the title to Nakamura at the Backlash pay-per-view, and the title could stay on SmackDown Live. Styles would move to Raw, if you guys are thinking that. But Alvarez claimed that the advertisements could be correct that we seen on WrestleMania weekend. This is because he referenced a previous poster which had Nakamura listed on the heel section, something which came to be true at WrestleMania. So Nakamura was positioned on the heel side of the poster, and that ended up coming true at WrestleMania. He did turn heel against AJ Styles at WrestleMania. So nobody knows if that's just a coincidence or if that was actually planned or if this is going to come to be. If Styles moves over to Monday Night Raw or Bryan moves over to Monday Night Raw, both could potentially move to Monday Night Raw or one or the other. That's why we potentially got what we got on SmackDown Live. WWE wanted to get that out there, and people are speculating now that we got Bryan versus Styles on SmackDown, that one of them could be on the move because WWE wanted to get that match out before they split them away, and they're on separate rosters. So there's a lot going on, man. Who knows what WWE's going to do. We're going to dissect this thing tonight with Monday Night Raw review, and we are going to talk about, the good moves and the bad moves. Which moves are going to work out? Which moves are going to make Raw better, hopefully? Which moves are not going to work out? And which moves don't make any sense whatsoever? So we'll talk about that on Monday Night Raw review. Thank you guys so much, man. I hope you enjoyed the little extra video I got out for you guys today. Thank you all so very much for all the support over the weekend. If you did enjoy the video, hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys tonight for Monday Night Raw and the first night of the 2018 WWE Superstar Shakeup. I'm JD. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you tonight for Monday Night Raw.